Hey guys, Dewald Kirsten again. Welcome to another quick little video of mine. This one is going to be a quick rapid fire pros and cons on the new Sigma 50-100mm f1.8 art lens. Now I've had this lens for about 2 months and shot quite a bit of different things with it. And what we did is we recorded a full in-depth review. And in this review it was myself and a very good friend of mine, Louis who does video, who also played with the lens, and unfortunately that the review is quite long. It's roughly about an hour long, give and take a minute or two. So what I'm going to do, this is a quick fire one with the pros and cons that we did. I'm going to upload that one as well. I'll link it into the comment section or the info section at the bottom, and you guys are more than welcome to watch that full review. But this one I'm going to keep it as short and sweet as possible. So right, let's dive into it. Then from the onset that I had the lens, one of the big pros that I had was the build quality of the lens. It is built like a tank. You can take the thing to war and back, and I'm sure it won't disappoint in any way. It's solid. It's a metal body. It's got fantastic glass elements. It's lovely. It's a fantastic lens. Roughly about the same size as a 70-200, maybe a little bit shorter. Roughly about the same weight as well. So just keep that in mind when you buy this lens. It's not a small lens. It's a decent sized lens. The image quality on it is mind blowing. It is simply amazing. I've tested it in various situations. I've shot with it in studio. I shot with it natural light, and it didn't disappoint me at all. The next point I want to touch on is the f1.8 aperture it's got. It's a fast lens, and with that is why I had Louis, who does video, review it as well. And I think this is going to be that's most probably the main talking feature of the whole in-depth review, is that this lens is geared, in our opinion, more towards the video shooters and not necessarily the photographers, the guys that shoot stills. And why we say that is it's a limiting focal range for photos. Yes, if on a crop sensor, it's in that 70-200 millimeter range that you're going to be shooting at. But the con on this is the 1.8 when shooting stills is you haven't got lots of leeway for shooting. Your technique has got to be spot on. If you just shift it a slight little bit, and you'll see it in the images that we're going to be showing in the full review, literally just a focus, center point focus, and recompose, and you're off the focal plane in terms of the depth of field, especially on a 1.8. So with that is video. All your Canon Cineline cameras, the C100s, all those guys, they take crop sensor lenses. Your new Canon 80D is crop sensor. Your Canon 7D Mark II is crop sensor. All these that shoot amazing video is crop sensor cameras. And in saying that this is a crop sensor only lens, which is one of the cons. If this would have been a full frame lens, I'm pretty sure Sigma would have sold a ton of them. But that's where it comes in. It comes in back towards the video again. This lens is going to be used by videographers. With that, because they're limited to shutter speed, and if they're shooting at 1/30th of a second, they can shoot 30 frames per second maximum. So you can't shoot lower than that. That's why they need the wider f-stops to get in more light into the camera and get it onto the sensor. In the full review, you'll see that we talk about this all the time. In photo versus video, it just tends to lean more towards the videography side of it. It's a fantastic lens for that. Right, so in long and short, that's roughly what it is. So let's just quickly run through those pros and cons. It's got solid build. It's got amazing image quality. It is very versatile for photo and video, more towards the video side than the photographer side. It's got the wide aperture, again, for those videographers, for creative stills that you're going to be shooting. But with that, technique is going to be spot on. You're going to have to shoot it from a tripod. touching on a tripod subject, and the next Pro that I've got here has got a built-in lens foot, which is fantastic. When you mount it on your camera, on the lens foot on your tripod, you can simply keep your tripod steady. If you're shooting headshots in studio portraits, you can simply twist your camera from portrait to landscape mode in as easy as that, without having to loosen anything on your tripod. So your camera will be steady all the time. Cons. Let's look at one or two of the cons quickly. It's price-wise. It is not a cheap lens. In dollar-wise, I think it's about $1,100 for a lens that's specifically for crop sensor. Is going to be touching. The reason why we're saying that is, if you buy this lens, if you're a still shooter, video shooters, you can use it in quite a few different scenarios. But if you're a still shooter, if you want to sell this lens again, you're going to be limited to selling it to a crop sensor user. And that saying is, if you spend that kind of money on a lens and you upgrade to a full frame system, you're going to be stuck sitting with a crop sensor lens that you can't use on a full frame body. So you will have to get rid of it somewhere along the line if you're upgrading to full frame. If you're going to be sticking with crop sensor cameras, which I doubt, because most people, when they move up into shooting more professionally, they will move up to a full frame sensor, which is just the way to go. The image quality on my Canon 6D versus my Canon 70 Mark II is light years difference. The 6D on its full frame sensor just blows the 70 out of the water. So there is definitely, if you want to shoot quality stuff, you've got to go to full frame, and then you're going to be stuck with the lens you won't be able to use. And if you're going to sell it, you can only sell it again to crop sensor users. Now, if you're a videographer, that lens is so much more versatile versus from if you started with, let's say, entry level DSLR camera, either Canon or Nikon. They all shoot HD video. You can use it on that. You can upgrade to the Canon 70 Mark II, the Canon 80D, I believe the new Nikon D500 as well. All those are crop sensor cameras. And if you upgrade if you were shooting one of those and you're upgrading to, let's say, a Canon C100, again, you can use the lens. So it's way more versatile in the video genre versus the photography genre. It's not, my next con I'm coming to, it's not a light lens. It's heavy. Like I said earlier, it's about the same weight as a 70-200 2.8 lens. So our minds are pretty made up that Sigma developed this lens more with videographers in mind than versus photographers. And we can't state it enough. We, like I said earlier, and I'll say it again, and we talk about this in the full review all the time, that lens is made for videographers. So, right guys, in conclusion, a fantastic piece of glass. Simply, the Sigma Art range, again, doesn't disappoint. The only disappointment is crop sensor only, the price tag, and that's about it. So, thanks guys, thanks for watching. Please watch the full review. If you've got some time, if you're serious about buying this lens, watch it. We've got some amazing in-depth discussion about it, and we're looking at some images from this lens. So please click through to that link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I've got lots of stuff coming. I've got some awesome new filters and stuff I'm going to be reviewing soon. Hopefully some more tips and tricks and editing videos when I get the time, because I'm still shooting full time as well. So subscribe. As soon as I've uploaded the stuff, you'll see it come through in the news feed. So looking forward to hearing from everybody. Thanks again. Cheers.